Unless you've been hiding under a rock, you probably have heard of the newest platform called Skool, and you've definitely heard of a bunch of different people in our industry, SMMA agencies and online coaches and online businesses of all types, leveraging communities like things on Skool to make a lot of money. Us at the GSD and Custom Creatives, Calculated Services, our agencies and coaching programs have always leveraged communities, Facebook groups, platforms like Skool, platforms like Circle, all of these things to generate multi-seven figures every 12 months simply by developing a community and nurturing people inside of it. So I thought I'd open up the gates and show you guys the exact playbook on how we've done it. Not only that, but compare platforms like Skool, like Go High Levels, communities like Circle, like Facebook groups, and show you why we choose which ones we choose and how they outperform each other, which ones I have found to have better features, the risks involved in all of them, and everything in between. So we just did a training on this inside of our group, and I decided I needed to bring it to you guys too. So if you want to give me about 20 minutes or so, we're going to break down how to leverage communities in platforms like Skool, like High Level, like Facebook, to be able to make yourselves multi-seven figures every single year through the audience that you already have. Create raving fans out of your list and make sure that you can monetize as many people as possible. So without further ado, let's jump in and get shit done. So let's dive in a little bit for today. What we're going to be talking about today is another lead generation secret, another way that you can make money. Okay, and how that is something that we've done over and over and over again that fits perfectly into your flywheel of offers. So I'm going to go over that first in a second. And that comes from leveraging community. Okay, being able to create a group or a community or a area where people can be with one another, help each other, communicate, get their questions answered. But the primary source of why that makes so much money is because guess what? Not everybody is going to be ready to purchase from you right away. And so if we look at something that we teach quite a bit, this, right, the flywheel. First thing is, this is how most people do things. This is how you're probably visualizing things right now. It's, let me create an offer. Let me have a bunch of conversations with people. And if they aren't ready to buy this thing yet, okay, screw off. Or I'm going to follow up with you a million times until you do buy this thing, or I'm just not going to monetize it. What that ends up doing, right, is leaving a whole bunch of money, a whole bunch of people. They look at all these, this guy, look, if we single this out, this one guy, look at all these people who are getting left behind, who aren't being monetized, who are not being nurtured. The way that I want you guys to visualize your offer structure is more like this, okay? Flywheel. Primarily having a spot for evaluators who aren't quite ready to buy anything from you yet. They might be interested in you. They might have come from an ad, or they might have had all these other things going on, right? But they're not quite ready to pull a trigger yet. So they need to evaluate what you have going on. Then you got beginners. These are the people who are more likely to not yet be ready to buy a high ticket thing, but they probably are ready to do some sort of first step to begin their journey with you. Then you want to have a spot for regulars, people who are actually ready to start investing, champions who have already had success with you in your normal program and want to continue on. And then you want to be able to actually move everybody along the path. So let's give you an example of how this works. I'm going to tell you two examples, one from our agency side and one from the coaching side. The coaching side one, a lot of you guys are literally in it or have passed through multiple levels of it, or I'm looking through the crowd right now of people who are in here in this room with me, and I see people at every stage of it, which is actually great, right? And so the coaching side is we have two, what we're talking about primarily here today, communities. So the evaluators, right? The biggest thing for the evaluators is the community. So for us, for the coaching side, you've got two things for evaluators, two forms of community where they can go for free, right? And I like to use the metaphor of saying this is like buying, not even buying. This is just like going and doing your free trial at a gym. So you get to do your free trial at the gym. You come to my YouTube channel, you can see some training. So you get to go to the group, the free group. You can join 12,000 other people trying to do what you're trying to do and go through and watch stuff and learn and communicate with other people and participate, right? And this is the evaluator stage. This is why I'm saying today we've made so much money out of these, right? We have this group, we had this group, we've got the group that we purchased from when we acquired Nick Robbins' one over here, where we've got this group. All of these groups that we've grown and nurtured and created all have made us 7+ figures annually when we've leaned into those specific tools. And mainly that's because it gives us a place to put our evaluators, to put the people who aren't quite ready. But the other part that it does for us, it allows us to have mechanisms to push people forward. So to go from evaluator to beginner, from beginner to regular. So sticking with the coaching side of things, right? What do we do for beginners? Well, a lot of you guys right here are in it. The Diamond Club, the VIP, right? That's the beginner spot. Very low cost, low thing where we can actually progress your relationship with us to help you get your first client acquisition strategies, to get your foundation set, to acquire your first client and be able to get to know who we are and what we're all about. Then we have the inner circle, again, moving along with the GST coaching program, the inner circle part where you need 24/7 access to us. You want to be able to ask me a question anytime you want, hop on a call every single day for different skill sets, right? So sticking with the gym metaphor, free trial of your gym, then you buy a gym membership and you get a spin class with me or Rahul yelling at you from the top of the crowd going, we're hitting mile 60, let's get this shit done. It's been a while since I've taken a spin class. I don't really know what they yell at you, but I assume it's, something like that, go faster. And then here with the regulars in a circle, it's like having David Goggins move into your bedroom and scream at your face every day to make sure you get up and do the thing, right? You can see how it kind of moves along. And then champions is an ongoing thing after the inner circle, plus student spotlight interviews we're doing in the group. Now, the amazing thing about these communities, these things here, is that they actually serve a function in every step of the flywheel. Not only are they the houses for our evaluators, they are a primary mechanism for moving free people into this by doing trainings every week in them and making sure that people know if they want to get on a coaching call afterwards, if they want access to all this stuff, that they only have to start a trial. They allow us to turn beginners, VIP people like yourselves into inner circle people, again, by doing these weekly trainings, but also by doing master classes and challenges and everything else that we house inside of those communities that we do regularly once a month. Right now, we're on a couple of month hiatus because we're prepping for a live event, but we normally do them inside the communities, both live inside the Facebook group and then replayed on the YouTube channel afterwards, all promoting to get people to go through and then having some sort of offer for VIP, usually to progress into the inner circle. We create new people for all of this by taking the champions and doing student spotlight interviews every single month inside of sometimes even weekly. We would think we had like a 10-week run where we did one every single week, all for like 2.5 months there, where they're doing student spotlight interviews in here to turn evaluators into beginners. And so all of these pieces push each other forward, and it's all housed by community, which is what we're talking about here today. Cool. Now, on the agency side of things, right, we did the same thing. We had a group and we had a YouTube channel, exactly the same thing for our communities on this end. And what did we do on the agency side? So we needed to have evaluators, free people. So again, we educate them in the group and then in the YouTube channel. For beginners, we had the SaaS only. So we did a GHL SaaS only product. Now, this is all relating to the department that we had that was $200K a month. That was the real estate department that we had for a while running up. So that one, SaaS only, beginners. We sold this anywhere from $197 up to $497 a month, usually hovered around $297 for that. So that's where they would go if they needed a step. Now, that was also sometimes it came in and out of it, but when it was good, we housed a community, a Facebook group, for these people to get some coaching on how to leverage that product, but also to turn them into done-for-you client. Oh, you've done your DBR campaign and you've taken our course and you've made a little bit of money. Are you ready to ramp that up? Are you ready to become a done-for-you client? Because we're communicating with them every single week, right? Inside of our community, we're able to have those conversations. We're able to pick out who's ready to go to that next level. Regulars being our done-for-you plus SaaS, and then champions, again, are just ongoing, probably scaled up people. For us, for the realtors, it was oftentimes people who wanted to scale up their budgets, add another platform. And we would do spotlight interviews. Same thing, testimonial stories. The easiest way for us to get testimonials is, oh, you're happy? Hey, do you mind doing a quick interview about the process? And pick out the testimonials from there. And you put those testimonials in the group. You'd put those testimonials onto the YouTube channel. And all of that would then create a cycle of people being pushed from free to low ticket to high ticket to champion, creating more and more along the way. Instead of getting rid of certain people, allowing us to have a spot for every single person. Community actually allows you to make this whole thing work by having a place to do it, by having a place to not only house your evaluators, but house the ability to push those people to the next level on each stage. Good. So different types of communities exist now, right? There's a lot of people who are using different things. I mean, we've got Skool, that's rolled out recently. That's all the rage. We've got GHL that's rolled out for people that are coming in. There's Circle that I know I'm using. I've used a little bit with John Whiting when we've been doing work with him, right? There's actual Facebook groups, tried, true, still tested, still going on. It's really just about understanding where you want to spend your time. So let's go through a couple of these because each one kind of has its own merits, right? Facebook, obviously, we still stick with a lot of Facebook because we've invested a lot in growing this group. I'm not going to try and migrate 12,000 free people over into another free community. I just don't care enough to do it. Our paid levels and stuff don't necessarily need it. Now, Facebook is good because a lot of people use Facebook. It's not trying to steal engagement and create a whole new thing. And you're going to ride a wave of hype on one platform and then all of a sudden it's going to die off because people go back to the social platforms they go back to. So you're not trying to change people's habits by having it on Facebook. You're not trying to change people's habits by having them in Messenger. So that this becomes a little bit easier and cheaper to grow because people are naturally on here. You're going to get some SEO built in. Like we get quite a few. We do pay for members through ads, but we also get quite a few people that join organically through SEO, through having keywords like this and stuff in the group itself. So that's why we still use Facebook groups for all this kind of stuff. Now, YouTube channels, also great. Personally, I wish I had started a YouTube channel back when we started the group because we make quite a bit off of this. We have quite a few people that buy the trials for the VIP. So again, thinking of the flywheel, we have a promotion underneath each and everything to join the trial for the Diamond Club so that they can come in here and join, right? So we're pushing that along through the use of community. If I could start one again, I would do both at the same time. Now, YouTube takes a while to ramp up. It was literally like 8 to 12 months, I think, of consistent posting, both videos and shorts, before we really started to get traction and started getting sales coming through and started getting subscribers, monetization, all that stuff. But it's a good secondary asset to have. Facebook is a little easier to grow, especially if you're utilizing the perfect stranger method. You can do a lot with that. You're doing stuff that we teach inside of this program, right? With the 2 steps posts and the content and the messaging and all that kind of stuff. And if you're watching this video, actually, it's a good time for me to say this. If you're watching this outside of the training that we're doing, if you're watching it on YouTube, Facebook later on, there is a link to join this so that you can do this every single week with us for just $7. Just below it, it's the first 30 days for $7. Click it, join us so that we can do it. Shameless little plug, since we're talking about all this stuff that's inside of the course that you get with this, that you would leverage inside of these communities to really monetize, to really create those conversations, content, and make some money. So now back to this, the other thing, right? The newest thing on the block, Skool. Why is Skool good? Let's talk about the good and the bad of what I've seen from Skool. So we have some clients that are utilizing Skool. The good thing about it is that it's very simple to set up. It's very simple to put together, to use. I would say some of the simplicity takes away from it, but it is nice that it's set up completely to have a classroom with all of the different courses right there. It has also, normally there's a schedule. Let me see if I'm even in any other ones. I'm in Bailey's. All right, we'll give him a little shameless promotion. So you can see calendars here too, where they have it built right in. You've got members you can talk to. I can't talk to them probably because I don't pay them anything. And then you've got the classroom for the different courses, right? So it's kind of nice in the sense that it's got all of this stuff built right in. It's also nice that you can make these groups be paid for through a subscription. So what's really nice there is you can set this to be that you want this to be a paid community, and you want them to spend $97 a month or however much you want to be able to be a part of this community. So you can make this a part of your low ticket course package. So it has that system built right in. I don't believe last time I checked that they take anything off the top. It's just the $97 a month that you pay for your community. And then they don't take anything off the top. They collect the money, they give it to you, and there's a nice affiliate program built right into it. So it has some features that you would want. It is a nice evolution of not having to use, this plus also a course thing that we use this plus GHL. Having it all built right into this and also being able to charge them through it and the simplicity of setup all works really well. Now, the bad is trying to migrate your people and or to keep people's attention. I'm of the mind that, it's going better than I thought it would with the engagement and stuff. People do use it. They're in there a lot. But there's just usually something about being able to keep people on a platform they're already using and engaging and being social through that makes it a little bit easier. So we shall see later on how that works out. Okay, we'll see how it all goes. That's one of the reasons we haven't migrated over yet, because I just don't see the benefit. The second thing is obviously Facebook groups are free. So you do not have to pay to have now $97 a month to leverage the software is not that big of a deal. I think it's $97 per community. So, I mean, if you're going to do more than two or more than one, then you'd have to set it up that way. So there is some issues with the platform, primarily trying to drag people over here, trying to push people over here. But the one good thing that I didn't mention is these leaderboards. You are able to create so that the more engagement you do for people or the more engagement they do on the platform, the more shit you can unlock. Meaning some of these courses, some of these different reward systems, that kind of stuff, you can gamify the engagement in there a little bit to make people actually want with it. Stuff like chatting with people, stuff like courses that they'll unlock, all of that become unlocked through engagement. So it has features, it has benefits. There's a reason it's all hyped up. And yeah, I think it'd be good for somebody to test out. Circle, something that we've used previously with John Whiting, is a little bit more complicated. Check it out if you want. I like it. It's a little complex, but it has a lot of really cool shit that works. I'm not going to do a full review of it right now. GHL, I am going to dive into with you guys, same level as I did with Skool. Obviously, as with everything GHL does, they do the highest form of flattery to all the platforms that they like. Yeah, they tend to mimic shit, is what I'll call it, right? Not enough to really, they are being sued by ClickFunnels right now, but I don't think ClickFunnels is going to win that. But what happens is they take what works with other people and they refine it. So you can see, this kind of looks familiar, right? So you're going to have some of that gamification, which is nice, and be able to do that. The one thing I like about this the most, right, is that you can have the courses be right in here. So you're making courses in Diamond Club, or you're making courses in GHL and all that stuff already. You can come in here and also have your members, you have your leaderboard discussion, right? So it's all here. It's a community, very similar, again, to what we had in the other one. And it all connects and can be a part of your automations and stuff that are built right in the high-level system. So now you have access to your workflows. The biggest thing, right, guys, about GHL and about utilizing their features within GHL is always that now it's a part of that one big-ass ecosystem, right? Okay, I've got my funnels in there, my courses in there. Now I've got my community in there. Just makes it easier. Now, especially with us, we didn't push this very hard. This was just, we utilized this only for the one little beta launch that we did of a new product that we rolled out. The engagement was nothing. It died off instantly, basically, but we weren't pushing it all that much. So I can't judge it too much based on that. I did like that the courses and all the automations and stuff were easy to use. We're already in here. And everything else looks pretty similar, right? So it's all fairly similar. Yeah, Charlie, GHL has a Skool. I don't want to call it a Skool knockoff, because Skool is already a Reddit knockoff. Everything's based off something else, right? But yeah, they did what they always do. They took what was happening and they refined, and they put a more basic version into their overall product suite. But that's what they did with the ClickFunnels builder. That's what they did with this community thing. And I love those guys. I'm not talking shit about it. I think that's the best way to do it, is to build off of what people already want and incorporate it into your ecosystem, because that's what they're trying to do. So I guess that's a long way of saying yes. Yes, they did. Now, right. So all of that being said, right? Skool, go high level communities, Facebook communities, Circle communities, YouTube channels. What would I recommend? What would I recommend you do? If I were starting from scratch, I would do this. I would have a Facebook and YouTube channel for step one for evaluators. I would still keep it there. I think for a free community, honestly, the easiest way to grow, the most engagement you're going to get out of the gate without having an audience already pre-built to fill up the other thing. The easiest way to create something, because you can do, just by doing the perfect stranger method inside the course, by adding people who are targeted friends to yourself, right? So every day we go and we add a certain amount of targeted friends to our friends list. I have my VAs do that, especially with this new profile I have. All those new people go to the top of this invite list. So if I want to grow my group, if I add 30 to 50 targeted new friends every day for a couple of weeks, and suddenly I've got a whole bunch of targeted new people here, and this is a lot easier on the phone. You just click, and invite. I can now go and send, 20, 30 invites to the group each day. That allows me to organically grow it. So you've got SEO that really doesn't exist yet on the Skool system, right? It's gonna probably, but right now it's iffy how the SEO and recommendation stuff work. So you've got SEO you can build into this. You've got organic invites and strategy you can build into this. And then you've got Facebook ads that you can drive to it that are a little, we're seeing it to be still primarily quite a bit cheaper. The one Facebook ad that I did help with the Skool community was like, I think 30, 40. And the ones that we do are 10, ish, and the ones we've done for other people is 10 to 20 ish for Facebook. So it's about double, two to 4x the cost to get them into Skool, and then you've got to maintain. If they're not already a Skool user, their engagement drops off. So there's easier in my mind still for right now to leverage Facebook groups for your free. Now the low ticket thing, right? We do a freemium kind of model on here where the low ticket thing is here. I would suggest probably, because you're allowed to pay for it, it's all built right into here, and you can start to gamify your access. It would be good to leverage a Skool community, or a Circle community also works quite well in there. And if you don't want to pay for it and you're already paying for GHL, then I would use GHL. GHL is a broke version of this, honestly. Like it's just a stripped down version of Skool, in my opinion, from what they've rolled out. Now, the beautiful thing about GHL is, they're going to roll out other stuff. They'll have more coming out, right? They're going to add more features, and as people ask for them and as they get voted on. But do I think communities are a priority for them right now to catch up to the other stuff? No, I don't think that's where they're, at this point, they've got investors. They're going to have teams scrolling over the data. They're going to be targeting their investment into their developers a little bit more. I doubt that this is where their money's coming from right now. I doubt that this is where they're going to be prioritizing it. So for right now, Skool and Circle are miles ahead of what that is. So if I were going to be doing it, it would be that for my lower tiered level. So for my beginners and regular level, it would probably be there if I was starting from scratch. Now, actually, DJ just asked a good question. If your main agency is a done for you and not SaaS, how would community tie into that without the low ticket offer? You decide, right? You always want to have in your agency, even if you're not leveraging SaaS as your downsell, you want to have some sort of lower ticket thing to be able to monetize, nurture, and create other things, right? So for us, before we did the SaaS offering, we actually had a done with you model, if that makes sense. So we had the fully higher ticket, I think it was $3,000 to $5,000 a month was what we were charging realtors. And then we had a $1,000 a month where it was we'll set up this first campaign, and then we can do some stuff with you, but you're going to manage it ongoingly. And then you're going to have us to be able to approach to do certain things that they were allotted each month. That's a way to do it. There was another methodology we did too. And then at one point we were doing buckets. So we did a one sale for the realtors, mortgage brokers. And I think we did this for lawyers too, I'm going to put it in quote marks, pay per lead model, but it wasn't really. It was a pay per lead model. It was a retainer model masked in something that they said they wanted. So what I mean by that is I tell you you're paying per lead, but you have to buy a bucket of leads. So at the end of the day, it's a $3,500 retainer, but you're going to get 25 calls. But that would have been the exact same thing I would have told you anyway, but now you're buying it because you wanted to buy it per lead. So what we did allow for that was the downsell was, okay, buy a smaller bucket of leads, but you get a reduced number of features too. So if we have an ISA or something that we were running back then, which is an internal sales agent, a call center type thing, we would replace that now with an AI setter. But back then we had a team, like a mini call center in Mexico, that we would have call leads and qualify them for them. We would remove that on the lower level too, on the bucket. Hopefully that makes sense. Oh, yep, it makes perfect sense. Good timing on that. So yeah, I mean, look, now you get the idea, the desire, where it fits and everything for these communities. And I've kind of talked a little bit about how we actually made money with each step of these utilizing the community. So I want to end this training on this part again, just kind of talking about that. So what we're leveraging on the YouTube channel and the Facebook group is two things. These live trainings, which aren't live anymore, unfortunately, but they will be soon, where we're doing a promo to try and get people to join the VIP to want to be a part of that. We're also doing replays where they're going to be a part of that. We're also doing content strategy. So perfect stranger method that you guys have inside your course. Primarily, that would be the conversion content, right? We're talking about the 2 steps, right? We have people who are in here. What the best case scenario is, they're watching YouTube videos, they're watching trainings, they're seeing us post content, they're seeing people post that they joined something, they don't know what it is, they're seeing value being given. And then eventually we're like, hey, do you want this thing, right? We're doing that 2-step post, we're doing that mission post. And now because they've been evaluating us, hopefully if we've done our job correctly, they've evaluated that, oh, these guys kick ass. These guys can help me for sure. And they decide, okay, I want that thing, and then we can push them to the next level, right? That's what we do a lot of here in the community to make money. That alone in our real estate group created 7+ figures because we're creating large retainers, not necessarily the VIP people that we talk about here. Then here we do masterclasses. So again, on the agency side, we would do webinars like low cost, high volume seller leads. Now that we've had people evaluating us, right? And we're like, okay, let's do a masterclass. They would now say, okay, cool. Here's exactly how you get the end result that you want. I really need seller leads and I need them to be cheap. Cool. Here's the exact strategy for how you would do that. And by the end of that masterclass, the goal would be get them to buy into the fact that this is exactly what they need. And then also thinking, I don't want to do that. I want the outcome, but I do not want to have to go through all that shit. So how do I hire you to just do that for me? And that would progress people into done for you. And by doing those two simple mechanisms, leveraging a place to actually be able to evaluate us, and then leveraging those different conversion mechanisms in the community to push people forward, that's how we were able to create 7 figures plus, just leveraging these communities for both coaching and for the agency side.
Thank you so much for spending the time to watch that amazing training. Like I mentioned previously, my intention is for you not just to watch that training, but if you got something out of it, if you think this information is useful, I want you to continue that journey with us. And you can do that in a couple of ways. One, I want you to smash that subscribe button so that you get notified every single time we put another one of these out, which will be at minimum once to twice per week. The other thing I want you to do is go ahead and click that next video right there beside you so that you can dive in and get shit done. Hope to see you out there.